Intramuros, not just a district but a thrilling journey back to 1571 when Miguel Lopez de Legazpi founded a fortified city at the Pasig River's mouth.
The heart of Manila lies a treasure trove of history and culture within the ancient world. Welcome to our documentary, where we embark on a journey through time, exploring the richness.
The history of Intramuros involves being the center of various aspects of Philippine development. From a center of trade to a fortified war base, Intramuros has truly made its mark.
If that's not enough for you to prove that Intramuros isn't just bricks and stones, let us jump through a roller coaster ride through history.
Ready to leap back in time? Let's go! To answer the questions we have in mind about Intramuros, we asked two of the most important people in the Intramuros administration to get an insight on what this place represents and how it mimics the life of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial era.
Hi, my name is Dino Carlos Santos. I am a Supervising Historic Sites Development Officer from the Cultural Properties and Conservation Division here in Intramuros Administration. My primary task is to be the curator of Museo de Intramuros and Casa Manila.
Ramil Tibayan. I'm the head of the Cultural Properties Conservation Division. No? So under ng office na ito is the operation ng museums, and I believe you've been there to Museo de Intramuros. Yes. So under sa amin yun, we're the ones who operate sa museum. At the same time, we do conservation ng mga objects. Kami nagme-maintain ng mga objects na naka-display.
In this documentary, from the voices of those who have the relics of the past alive in the future, we will dive in to discover the religious and domestic lives of those Filipinos who lived during this era.
Can you tell us about the establishment of the museum, the important people, the organization involved, and the related events within this museum?
The two museums, yung Casa Manila and the Museo de Intramuros, was built as a legacy project of the Intramuros administration. So actually, yung museum is synonymous to the history of Intramuros administration na rin. The Casa Manila was built earlier. It was finished in 1981 under the administration then. Nandun pa si Minister Jaime Laya nung panahon na yon. And then the Museo de Intramuros, matatagal na rin siyang project. I think ever since then Intramuros administration began. Pero it was finished and opened. It was finished mga 1981. 2018. At tapos nagbukas kami 2019 to the public.
Intramuros was established during the Spanish colonial period. But before that, meron ng previous pre-colonial settlement. And then they just built it, the Spanish colonizers just built the settlement within that existing settlement. And then tsaka na siya lumaki. No? So, magtayo na ng mga walls to protect the city from mga invaders, mga ganyan. No? And ayun, doon na lumaki yan. No? So, during that time, yung mga first na nandito is mostly yung mga galing Spain, yung mga Spanish colonizers, plus yung mga priests, no? to propagate also yung the Catholic faith. No? So from there, dyan na sila lumaki, so nagkaroon ng establishment ng government, ng mga churches, religious orders has established their place here in Intramuros. No? So I think there were 7 churches that were built during that time. No? So and all of those that were built during the Spanish colonial period were destroyed during World War II. So kaya kami, Intramuros Administration is here to restore Intramuros according to what it was before. No? So we regulate the developments within the historic walled city. No? Well, everything that you see here is actually it's either rebuilt, no, or hindi na siya original. No? So ang original lang talaga dito is the portions of the fortification complex, and at the same time San Agustin Church.
Intramuros had a long history even after the Spanish colonial era. But how was Intramuros and its museums able to represent the Filipino life, especially the Principalia?
The Intramuros administration started collecting artifacts from different parts of the Philippines since its establishment in 1979. So the aim was to give life to the walls here in Intramuros, kasi the primary task of the Intramuros administration was to restore the structures here in Intramuros, especially yung walls. So ngayon, to complete the experience of a tourist or any Filipino client who will come to Intramuros, hindi lang yung walls dapat yung mabigyan nila ng buhay ulit, kundi mabigyan nila ng idea yung mga tao what life like was inside the walls. So what they collected was can be categorized into two. One is the domestic collection, yung mga gamit sa bahay, and lahat makakapagpakita ng lifestyle ng isang traditional na home dito sa loob ng Intramuros. And then the second category is ecclesiastic art collection. So the ecclesiastic art collection naman is, I guess, it's meant to give a picture of Intramuros as center of religious activities here in Manila, because as you have known, lahat ng simbahan, mga unang-unang simbahan na tinayo ng religious orders, nandito lahat sa loob ng Intramuros. So religious life was a big part of the lives of the people inside Intramuros, and that's what the ecclesiastic art collection is about. Now, so to build a context for the artifacts that were collected by the Intramuros administration since 1979 to 1985, two museums was constructed. So Casa Manila is meant for the domestic collection. So it's a lifestyle museum that is meant to house the different domestic artifacts that was collected. And then the ecclesiastic art collection is here in Museo de Intramuros. So Museo de Intramuros, actually nung mga unang years, yung mga 2019, 2018, meron pa siyang name before na Museo Eclesiastico de Intramuros, kasi basically ecclesiastic art collection to, but now it's just Museo de Intramuros.
So Casa Manila Museum, it is actually a lifestyle museum, no? That showcases the lifestyle during the Spanish colonial period, no? So yung architecture niya is patterned from I believe it is a 19th century house in Binondo, no? So it was patterned from that Spanish colonial house, but the contents of the museum are all original pieces from the colonial period. So mga antique furnitures, furnishings, yung makikita natin sa Casa Manila Museum.
Principalia, a term used to describe the wealthy, noble class, and the Filipinos who were well off during the Spanish colonial era. Many of them were educated, religious, and most importantly, they played a huge role in the influence and power of the Spanish during the colonial era.
Well, they've collected the finest furnitures and furnishing that there could be. So yung mga gamit na nasa Casa Manila, sabi nga ni Sunny Tino, one of the people responsible for collecting the artifacts, was yung Casa Manila ay bahay ng mayamang-mayaman dito sa loob ng Intramuros. So lahat ng furniture na nasa loob nun, pang-design siya, para nanggaling siya sa mga bahay ng mga mayayaman. So yun yung basic inalaman niya. Pati mga furnishings like yung mga baso, kutsara, tinidor sa kusina, sa komedor, tapos yung mga beddings na pinya, yung mga parang pinapakita yung lifestyle ng isang mayamang pamilya dito sa loob ng Intramuros. Now, the Museo de Intramuros collection, pinag-combine siya ng mga religious artifacts that are meant for private devotion sa bahay and for church devotions, yung mga makikita mo sa loob ng simbahan. So you would see merong mga maliliit na items na for home veneration, tapos merong mga pang simbahan talaga na malalaki. Like for example, yung isang set namin ng altar frontal, tabernacle, at saka yung gradas. Yun, pang simbahan talaga yun. Ang importante kasi kaya sila na-establish was you have to have an idea of history here in the Philippines. So, the Lifestyle Museum that is in Casa Manila ay relevant siya because you have to have an idea of how people in power or people who has economic and political power in Intramuros and paano sila nabuhay nung panahon na yon. So, yun, una, lifestyle. Pangalawa is you have to appreciate the Filipino craftsmanship that went into every furniture and furnishing that's inside the museum. So, it provides a lot of historical context. Like, for example, may mga imported na furnitures kasi na nasa loob ng Casa Manila. At yung mga, yung mga imported furnitures na yon, paano sila nadala dito sa Pilipinas? Some of them, kung medyo early, came from the galleon trade. Pero yung mga later furnitures na nung wala na yung galleon trade, pinapakita nun yung pag-open ng port ng Pilipinas to different countries. So, lahat ng pagpasok ng furnitures na imported, kasabay nila yung pagpasok ng mga ideas dito sa bansa na naging sanhi ng revolution or ng pagiging critical sa gobyerno ng mga Pilipino. So, ganun siya. Ngayon, dito naman sa Museo de Intramuros, kakawing kasi nung religious art, yung history ng Christian faith or history ng evangelization ng Pilipinas, it goes hand in hand with the non-religious aspect of the Philippine history. So for example, ang theme kasi nung exhibit of the permanent exhibit is the history of the evangelization of the Philippines. And evangelization is closely knitted to colonization. So kung ano yung naging buhay ng mga Pilipino na konektado do sa religious life nila during the colonial period, yun yung matututunan mo dito sa Museo de Intramuros. At the same time, kung paano mo ma-appreciate yung art and craftsmanship that went into every furniture sa Casa Manila, ma-appreciate mo rin dun sa craftsmanship na nandito for religious art dito sa Museo de Intramuros.
Is the lifestyle of the Filipinos during the Spanish colonial period, especially yung mga affluent Filipinos during that time, talagang mayayaman, mga mestizo. So that is actually the intent of Casa Manila Museum, to showcase the lifestyle during that period.
So, could you give us like an example lang po na nasa Casa Manila Museum, like isang part dun na that showcases the affluent Filipino lifestyle during the Spanish?
What do you mean by a particular piece?
A particular piece.
Actually, the whole house. It is the whole house, no? So, kaya pag pumunta kayo doon, para kayong nag-travel back in time. So, nakikita niyo how the house was set up during that time, what are the furnitures they were using, no? And all of those contents are antique pieces, no, from the Spanish colonial period. So walang reproduction doon. Ang reproduction lang talaga is yung the house itself, yung bahay, no. So syempre hindi naman namin kayang bumili ng bahay na luma ng araw, no. So what we have are the furnitures, but the house itself is a reproduction. But if you've been to Casa Manila, no, Casa Manila is only a part of the whole complex. So ano yan yung Plaza San Luis complex, fronting San Agustin Church. No? So yung buong complex na yun were patterned from different houses that were built in Intramuros, no? From different periods of history. No? So makikita niyo how structures evolved during that time. No? Merong isang bahay doon yung gitna, pulit-pulit, I believe that was from the 17th century. No? But it is a reproduction. It was only patterned from archival documents that we have. No? It is actually a problem in historic districts. No? So over tourism, as much as possible, we regulate yung dating ng mga tao, ng visitors. No? So pag masyado maraming dumadating na tourist, it can cause damage to these cultural properties. No? For students, kasi kailangan kumbaga, alam nila kung ano yung meron dito. Pero at the same time, they have to respect what is here. It is our culture, no? It is our identity. Kasi there are cases na sobrang excited nila nagkakaroon ng vandalism. There was one case na nag-vandal doon sa mga walls, no? So isa yun sa dapat talaga hindi ginagawa, no? Sa mga museums, mga nagkakalat, no? Again, over-tourism din yan. No? So, yung the simple littering, no? So, yung mga water bottles na pinag-iwan, iiwan lang kung saan. No? Marami dito, yes. Marami kami mga coffee shops, no? From private entities. No? Pero syempre, yung pinag-inuman, dito na kung saan iniiwan. No? Meron ako mga nasisita mga estudyante, talaga pinapapulot ko sa kanila. Kasi, how can we promote such a tourism site na kung tayo mismo yung alam mo yun, nagbabanda, nagkakalat, sumisira, no? So, paano pa natin promote yan sa international scene na kung tayo mismo hindi natin kailangang alagaan, no? So, that is my message to you as the younger generation. So, to take care of these cultural properties. Again, it is part of our culture, it is our identity as Filipinos.